We have breaking news in Virginia where a judge has dismissed all charges against former assistant principal Ebony Parker. Parker was charged with 8 counts of felony child neglect in the 2023 shooting of first-grade teacher Abby Zwerner by her 6-year-old student.
Prosecutors accused her of ignoring repeated warnings from other school employees that the student had a gun, but their defense countering that the state had not made that case. Parker breaking down in tears when the judge said that she was striking all 8 counts. Here's that moment.
I do grant defense motion to strike in whole on all counts, all 8 counts of felony child abuse and endangerment.
NBC News legal analyst Danny Cevallos joining us now to discuss this. Danny, defense teams routinely make these motions to throw out charges, and obviously we were multiple days into this trial already. What was the legal reasoning from the judge?
We make those motions in every single case, and we never expect them to get granted. We're really only making them to create a record for appeal. So I have to imagine even defense counsel, if they're being honest, was like, wait, what? You're doing what? And exactly that happened. The theory for dismissal is that the statute as read and the evidence put in doesn't match. In other words, let me give you an example. The judge said, well, what was the omission? Was it when she was told that the backpack was clear, didn't have a firearm, but should she have done something then? Was the act, when exactly is the prosecution's theory of the omission that they say fits within the statute of child neglect? Again, not a decision I would have expected in this case. And had it gone to the jury, I think they might have had enough evidence to get a conviction. So this is a massive, unexpected win for the defense.
Is she cannot be tried again on this then, right? Is that, it's done?
Technically, the government could appeal, but it is done. I mean, I don't believe they can appeal on these facts. When the finding is based on the facts, I believe that narrows the appellate options to virtually zero. But Virginia might have somewhat different procedural rules.
Can you talk about the fact, this idea of wanton and gross disregard for human life? That was sort of like the bar that was created in this, or at least that's the legal standard.
Yeah. Right, exactly.
Why was it so obvious it wasn't met based on what was presented in court?
I wouldn't say it was obvious. I think this is one of the most difficult concepts to struggle with when we're talking about holding people responsible for their omissions related to school shootings. So think about it this way. I mean, the omission, it can't just be as simple as somebody didn't do something and something bad happened. It has to be that kind of willful wanton act. Essentially, her omission has to mean that she wanted it to happen. And obviously, she didn't want a school shooting to happen. She omitted doing something. That seems clear from the evidence. But what was her state of mind? Was it reckless? Was she, even if she was aware there might be a gun, did she intend for a school shooting to occur? That's what I think so many people struggle with, the intent factor in these cases.
Danny, what about that civil case? Because last year, a jury awarded Zwerner, the teacher, $10 million. Is that case done and dusted? Could this, dismissal affect that in any way?
This will have zero effect, in my view, on the civil case. And here's why. We're talking about totally different standards of proof. It has happened historically that high-profile criminal cases have had an acquittal at the criminal level and a finding of liability. And the most famous, I guess you would say, or infamous, is the O.J. Simpson case.
Sure.
Yes, because he was acquitted. It's the standard of proof. Beyond a reasonable doubt is so much higher than the preponderance of evidence needed in civil cases that this kind of anomaly can and does happen.
An important case, regardless of outcome. So
Huge.
A lot of analysis coming here. Danny Cevallos, thank you so much.
Thanks, Danny.
We thank you for watching. And remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.